My name is Steve Stevens, the best sports consultant money can buy. I make more money betting sports than anybody in the world. I'm the one that tells you who to bet. I'm not a bookie, I'm the Bookie Killer.
If money talks, then I got a lot to say. I'm on the grind trying to make $100,000 a day. The game that I pick, believe me, it's a winner. What I know could get you rich, cause all I pick is winners. Welcome to Las Vegas. Money talks, money talks. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Blast off! It's me again! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the VIP Sports Podcast. We're coming to you direct here from Las Vegas at the offices of VIP Sports. This is our beautiful studio, sponsored by MyBookie.ag. It is Thursday, September 12th, 2019. This is podcast number 233. We air these podcasts every Thursday night, and we appreciate you tuning in. Let me first start off this podcast by saying our thoughts and prayers this week are always with the NYPD, the NY Fire Department, all the first responders, all the families from 9/11. You will never be forgotten. You're in our heart forever. It was a tragedy this country faced 18 years ago, Poppy.
Wow, 18 years, it seems like yesterday.
18 fucking years ago, and we're stronger and better, meaner and leaner than ever, my friend. That being said, shout out to all those families and first responders, NYPD, NY Fire Department. We love you guys, and we're always thinking about you.
We
Not just
appreciate
this,
what you do.
not just this week, but every week, really. I mean, it's never left my mind.
Yeah, and
okay?
the firemen, police, first responders all around the country, not just there, everyone.
Absolutely. And who's that voice over there? That's my co-host, Paparazzi in the house, the legendary Poppy, as we call him around here. How's everything, Poppy?
Everything's good. We had a good first week of the NFL and college football. Personally, things are well, and I'm excited. I'm glad you're back here and just ready to make these guys money.
I love it. You got a smile on your face. You must be getting laid these days.
I don't know about that. Right now, that's a little slow, but we're working on that.
Well, let's step it up, okay?
I will try. Believe me, I will try.
All right. Listen, this podcast is a spinoff of the VIP sports television show called Money Talks, which featured the boss, Steve Stevens, a.k.a. El Scorcho in the streets here in Las Vegas. He is absolutely the #1 sports consultant in the world, not just to the rich folks, not just to the celebrities and the whales, but to the average sports bettor all around the world. We got fans. Shout out to the people in Hungary that were saying hello. Shout out to those people down in Guatemala that said hello to us last week. Shout out to those people in Slovakia that were saying hello, Poppy.
We had somebody stop by from Ireland this morning.
Somebody from Ireland in the building this morning. They love us all over the world, and we love you guys and girls. Shout out. But anyway, this show is a spinoff from Steve Stevens, a.k.a. Darren Notaro's TV show called Money Talks, which aired on CNBC, the financial network, all about sports betting, the legalization of sports betting, which we've been pushing for years, which is now here. God bless America. And we do this podcast right here from our studios in Las Vegas. Every Thursday it airs on YouTube and all over the place. But if you're into this, if you're in a company that wants to advertise and wants to get hooked up with a company that's in the sports betting world, Poppy, sports betting is becoming bigger than anything. Weed and sports betting.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's getting legalized in every state. The states right now that don't have it legalized, so many have legislation to get it legalized. Neighboring states are saying, you know, how much money is coming in next door, and they want their cut. So as far as getting in a booming industry that is hot right now and going to be in the big picture, this is definitely the industry to be in.
So if you own a company or you work at a company, small company, big company, whatever it is, like I said last week, you might be a pimp, you might be a drug dealer. Whatever it is you need to advertise, get a hold of us at advertisingvipsportslasvegas.com, and we'll talk to you about how you can become a sponsor of this show and get in on the booming sports betting industry. There's billions of dollars out there to be made, folks, and no better place to advertise your product than right here on the VIP Sports Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell them, first of all, what we're going to do on this show is we're going to run through a bunch of nuggets. I got in a lot of trouble last week, guys.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to get in a lot of trouble. When the boss watched this podcast and the salesman in the room were not happy with me, okay? I gave, Poppy, I gave out a lot of nuggets last week. Yes. A lot of nuggets.
Yes.
More than normal, okay? And I got a lot of trouble from the boss. He said, Skip, what the fuck are you doing? You're giving out so much free shit, they're not going to call us. And to be honest with you, he was right. We had a record low phone calls last week signing up new players from the podcast, which I just couldn't believe because I thought we gave a great show.
Yeah.
However, we gave out too much information, Poppy.
We did. We did.
So I got to cut back a little bit on the Nuggets. However, you know me, guys. I love you. I'm coming with the Nuggets this week, Poppy. So get your pen and papers ready. I'm still going to come with the Nuggets. And by the way, Poppy's 2 NFL plays last week.
Thanks, sir.
2-0. We faded you. We put you right into the San Francisco Tampa Bay under.
We got there. Yes, we did.
Winner. And Arizona at home plus the 3.
Yep, they came
against
back.
your Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they came back and got the job done. They did.
So Poppy goes 2-0 in the NFL on his predictions last week in the NFL segment. In college football, we went 2-0 with the road teams on Friday.
Yep.
Right?
That's correct.
And the trends that I went over for you on Saturday kind of split. Some were really good, and some weren't not so good. When I go over these trends with you, by the way, that doesn't mean that's what we're betting. And that's what I told Steve and the salesman.
Correct.
They said, hey, stop giving out so many golden nuggets. You're giving them too much free information. Listen, information is power. Information is knowledge. Information can lead to big dollars. Okay? When I go over trends or Poppy goes over trends or Steve goes over trends, that's exactly what it is. It's trends on that matchup that have happened in the past to make those trends. That doesn't necessarily mean, and I said this last week, just because something looks good on paper doesn't always mean it's going to translate that way on the field. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we're betting. Just because a team is trending 80% or, 7 out of the last 8 times these two teams have played, it's going over, doesn't mean it's necessarily going over this week. We're just telling you what the trend is.
It may be a trend where we go and we start to look at that game and then Steve tries to use his information, and if something turns out in there, we may use that as a starting point. But Steve's information and the information Skip gets with their sources, that's the information. That's why they run a business so successfully. That's why they have the money, because guys call for that information on those plays. So we're definitely trying to help you guys out with these Nuggets, guys. But if you want to make the real money and know where their money is and why they make money year after year, you've got to call the number.
Correct. And tell them how they can get a hold of us, Poppy.
Well, if you want to get a hold of VIP Sports, it's very simple. Give us a call, 877-220-6540. Again, 877-220-6540. If you're just looking for a free pick, go to our website, VIPSportsLasVegas.com. We have packages for all of levels of sports bettors. And guys, one tip, this is from Steve Stevens, the boss, as he always says, over here, we don't text, we don't email. So to know it's really VIP Sports, you can either call the number, 877-220-6540, or go to the website, and we'll get back to you that way. Otherwise, there's lots of fakes and pretenders who want to be VIP Sports because of the success we have here. So make sure you're dealing with the legit, real VIP Sports.
Great point. And where can they find us, Poppy? Where can they watch us at?
Well, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, we're going to start having a live chat room open, the first airing of our show going forward.
Speaking of that, last week was pretty phenomenal success with the first one, right?
Yeah, we had about 150 guys in there. I was in there, and guys, I appreciate the support in there. Enjoy talking to you guys. Like talking to sports. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate the comments for Skip being back. I really do. Like answering the questions with you guys. I'm sorry if I can't get back to everybody, but yeah, please come show the support. Come in for the live chat. Ask us questions. Support us. We really appreciate that. So yeah, every single week we're going to be over there during the preview. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. That way you'll be alerted to when we're going to have these and when the premieres come out, which are generally every Thursday at halftime of the Thursday night NFL football game.
Right, and if you like these podcasts, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. It always helps out. Tell all your friends and family, everybody at work, about the VIP Sports Podcast. Help us pump up those views and those thumbs up. And one thing I want you guys to understand, we pre-tape this show on a Thursday morning.
Yes.
Okay? Right now it's 8:45 in the morning?
Yeah.
The show won't come out till tonight, obviously. But when we do the live chat, Poppy goes in there and he's going to go ahead and chat with you and answer any questions, right?
Yes.
And who knows? Maybe Steve and I will appear on there every now and then.
Right. So like stuff like last week happens with Antonio Brown. If you see that's not why it's on the show, it's because we taped the show.
Fuck Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Okay? Fuck AB and everything about this fucking guy.
I agree. Yep.
I got to stop you right there. I don't give a fuck about AB. I could care less, and fuck the Patriots. And the Raiders are better off without him, as they just proved in week 1. Listen, I'm sick of hearing about this guy. If you want to hear about AB, just turn this podcast off. go to another sports show, and I'm sure they'll talk about AB for another 3 hours. Yeah. I've heard so much about this guy. I don't give a shit anymore about AB. So, sorry, Poppy. I didn't mean to go off on you right there.
No, you're good.
I don't give a fuck about the rape charges. I don't give a fuck about this, that. I could care less about this psycho. The guy's a fucking nutbag.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear nothing else about this guy. It makes me sick.
I couldn't agree more.
I didn't mean to yell at you.
No,
the whole AB thing just fucking is driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And I've fucking heard enough about it. And if you've heard enough about AB, put a comment in it and say, fuck AB. You know what I'm saying? A, B, C, D, E, F, lick my balls. I had enough of this fucking guy. All right? Unbelievable. So anyway, listen, you can hear us, the Las Vegas podcast. Where are we at? We're at Apple Podcasts. We're at Spotify, Modify, Multiply, Google Play, Pocket Cast, all other major podcast platforms. Or you can simply ask Alexa on your preferred smart speaker, Alexa, play that VIP Sports Las Vegas podcast, and sure enough, we'll pop right up.
We will.
New episodes every Thursday night. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Racebook, Instagram, at VIP Sports LV. You can direct message us with any questions, and we'll get right back to you ASAP. And, Poppy, that's a nice shirt you're wearing over there.
Well,
you got Steve Stevens on your chest.
I do. I want to bring the boss.
You're looking kind of buff, too, Poppy.
Thank you. Trying to get a little bit healthier there, but wanted to bring the boss back with us.
You been working out?
A little bit. I'm just trying to get a little healthier.
Don't lie, Poppy. That was a definite no.
No, I'm trying to live a little healthier lifestyle.
You look good. You're looking buff.
Thank you.
I like it.
Appreciate that.
Okay, well, we'll get you, Lee.
Well, and if anybody wants to, check out these shirts or some of the other ones you've seen Steve on the show, it's our absolute winter merchandise line. Up your swagger this summer with the gear that will make you the envy of everyone in the sportsbook, at the game, or on the sofa. If you know Steve Stevens, you definitely know what an absolute blowout winner is, and now it's your chance to rep his gear in your hometown. Go to AbsoluteWinner.com today, and we plan to have more items added to the store in the near future. Guys, make sure you get it, rep it, leave us some comments if you like it, tell us what you think. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the support.
That's AbsoluteBlowoutWinner.com.
100%.
AbsoluteBlowoutWinner.com. Pick yourself up some ABW merchandise. Listen, we're going to get into the college football segment. Now would be your time to make sure you got the pen and paper. Because you know me, I always go against the grain. I don't follow rules. Do I follow rules, Poppy?
No, sir. You make your own rules.
I make my own rules. And I'm sorry, boss. You're not going to like this. I'm giving the guys some more nuggets, Poppy.
Oh, boy.
I got some college football trends for you once again this week. In fact, I got 6 road teams that are trending big time. And I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. So grab your pen and paper. Now would be the time to turn your ears on and get ready because there's some money to be made. Poppy, college football segment's brought to us by
our favorite sponsor, the sponsor of the show, MyBookie.ag. You all know that football is the biggest time of year for sports betting industry, and we are thrilled to be partnering with the industry's leading sportsbook this season, MyBookie. Created by online gaming pioneers in 2012, MyBookie.ag vows to improve the sports betting experience where so many other brands have failed. Year in, year out, MyBookie has delivered on its promise of excellent customer service, better bonuses, and more prop bets than any competitor, and fast and easy payouts. With in-game live betting and the most rewarding player perks in the business, MyBookie is the place to bet on football every weekend this season. And this year, they're hosting the first online handicapping super contest.
Nice.
Pick 5 NFL games against the spread every week to climb the leaderboard and score your share of the huge prize pool with a guaranteed first place prize of $100,000.
A $100,000 contest at MyBookie.ag.
Yes. So get started today by logging on to MyBookie.ag and creating a new account using my promo code VIP10 and get 10% cash back on your first deposit up to $200. Again, guys, use the promo code VIP10, get 10% cash back on your first deposit up to $200. That's promo code VIP10 to get 10% cash back. Follow MyBookie on Instagram and Twitter to get the latest odds and props as they're posted. And remember, who you are betting on is just as important as who you are betting with.
Amen to that. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. MyBookie.ag. Get on there and sign up for that tournament. They're giving away $100,000, guys.
Yep.
And make sure you use the promo code VIP10, like Poppy just said. All right, let's get into week 2 college football. What do you say, guys?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Just real quick, independent teams. These are teams that don't have a conference, Poppy, Independent teams last week, very, very weak so far to start the season. 3-8 against the spread, independent teams. Just a little nugget I'm throwing out there for you guys. 3-10 independent teams against the spread. So that being said, there's New Mexico this week's playing Notre Dame and Army. 2 independent teams this week that are laying double digits. Big favorites. Army's laying 17 to UT San Antonio. Notre Dame's laying 35 to New Mexico. So there's 2 independent teams that are laying big double-digit numbers this week. So be careful, because those independent teams 3-8 against the spread so far this season.
And Army may be a tad inflated after the big game against Michigan, putting that into overtime. So that may be a trap game. Right
Absolutely. 2 double-digit dogs that are independent teams this week. UMass and NC Charlotte. UMass getting 20 on the road at NC Charlotte. I smell a blowout.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah.
You smell that?
Yeah, I think
You smell that?
The odds makers are smelling
Yeah,
something.
yeah. That's not your ass, Poppy, that I'm smelling.
Thank God.
That's a blowout. Yeah, sorry. Did I just give one away? New Mexico State's playing San Diego State this week. San Diego State laying 16. Another independent team, New Mexico State. That's a double-digit dog. So what I'm saying here, with those independent teams not really covering, be careful with Notre Dame laying 5 touchdowns to New Mexico. Be careful with Army, especially after that great performance against Michigan, laying 17 points to San Antonio.
We gave out Army, by the way.
Yeah, we sure did. I told you they were a covering machine. We spelled that one out for you last week. All right, speaking of trends, let's get into it. And once again, I'm going to clarify this so the salesman and Steve don't freak out on me again this week. I'm going to go over 6 matchups this week instead of 11.
Better.
I'm going to cut it in half.
Yeah.
Okay? These are all road teams, just like last week. The road team was the common denominator. Once again, I'm going to go over 6 road teams in college football this week that are heavy trends, big-time trends towards these teams, Paparazzi. North Carolina, the Tar Heels, are taking on Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. Right?
Wake them up. That's right.
Now, Wake is -3 in this game. The total's 67. Here's some trends you might want to know. Oh, by the way, that's a Friday game.
Okay.
There's 3 Friday games tomorrow. North Carolina at Wake Forest. North Carolina is 8-3 the last 11 games as a dog. They're also 12-7 against the spread their last 19 road games. So here's a team that travels well, Poppy. They've covered 12 out of their last 19 road games, and they've covered 8 out of the last 11 times that they've been an underdog. And they're catching 3 points this week at Wake Forest. Wake Forest, on the other hand, is 1-7 against the spread their last 8 home games. Did you hear that?
So not very well.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Okay. The last 8 times Wake Forest has played at home, 7 of those times they haven't covered. Okay. So if you're betting Wake Forest at home, you're losing your ass. In addition, they're 0-5 against the spread. Their last 5 home games versus the ACC. Right. So their last 5 home conference games, they haven't covered one of them.
No.
All right. I think I spelled that one out. Tar Heels.
There's some nice trends there.
Plus the 3. Pretty nice trends, okay? Now, don't let that prevent you from calling us this week, okay? Because, by the way, we're running a promotion. This would be a great time to tell you. Here's our promotion for this week. $99 for the rest of September. Did you just... I thought you were going to choke on your iced tea there.
I know.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to get in big trouble for this one.
Yes.
Now,
Remember, this is you, not me.
Now, here's an... yeah, Steve, this was me. This was a Poppy's idea. I'm going to get in big trouble for this one. I don't give a shit. I want to make you money. I want you to be part of the program. I want to put you in the locker room. I want to put you on the sidelines with VIP Sports. I want to put a helmet on your head. I want to buckle up your chin strap. I want to put a mouthpiece in your mouth, and I want you to get in the fucking game with us. $99 for the college football and the NFL for the rest of September.
It's true.
That's 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're going to get in big trouble for that.
All VIP plays in college football, you'll get our VIP plays for college football and the NFL for the rest of this month. This is a $250 a week package.
Yep.
For the next 3 weeks, that would be $750. $99, new players only. If you have an account with us right now, that's not available to you. If you've worked with us in the past, that's not available to you because you're already a member. New members only, $99, all college and NFL VIP plays, a $750 value for $99. If you don't call on that promotion, you're out of your fucking mind. Right. I mean, what are you waiting for? Why are you watching the podcast?
Right. Get in the game, guys, and make yourself money.
You just looking to get free shit or free trends? These are trends, okay? It doesn't mean that's what we're betting necessarily. I'm just giving you some trends. All right, the other 2 games on Friday. Wow, I'm going to get in big trouble for that.
Yeah, I think so, too. Yep.
The phones are going to ring off the hook.
Yeah.
We're going to sign up 200-plus new players, which is what we're looking to do. We're looking to help everybody make money. Doesn't matter if you're betting $100 or you're betting $10,000. Your price is the same. $99 for the rest of September. College and pro football VIP plays.
And guys, if you have been with us in the past or whatever, give us a call. Tell him you want to be back in action and stuff like that.
Right.
And he'll work something out with you, too.
Oh, listen, I'm not saying if you've worked with us for 2 weeks in the past and then your wife found out about what you were doing and you got in trouble and you had to stop for a while, or you lost your job, or you had to leave the country on some military service and you had to go away for a couple months. Hey, listen, whatever the reason is, come on back. I'm not saying you can't come back if you've ever been a client.
Correct.
And I'm glad you clarified that, Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that $99 for 3 weeks, if you've been a client before and you know we win, okay, you can't jump back on board and say, hey, give me 3 weeks for $100. Not happening if you're already a member, okay? You guys could gladly come back. We'll gladly help you make money. We'll work something out with you that's fair. But this promotion is for new players only that have never had an account with VIP. So give us a call. We'd love to help you make some money. And you're never going to get a better deal than this, trust me. Believe me. So the other 2 games on Friday, Poppy, the Kansas Jayhawks are taking on Boston College. Boston College laying 3 touchdowns in that game, total 53. And Washington State, which has been a covering machine pretty much last year, Washington State -9 on the road against Houston. Total in that game, 75.5.
That'll be an interesting game, I think.
Yeah, well, all I'm going to say is the total's high for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just leave it at that. Saturday, let's get into some trends for Saturday. Pittsburgh and Penn State at Happy Valley. What's going on there, Poppy?
Well, Narduzzi is 12-6 as a road dog since 2015 for Pittsburgh. Penn State coach Franklin is 4-6 against the spread as a double-digit chalk. The road team is 3-0 against the spread in this series. So you got Pittsburgh over there against Penn State. I'm not sure what the line is, though, on that game.
Interstate rivalry. Pittsburgh heading into Happy Valley. Pittsburgh's a big dog, a double-digit dog. Narduzzi, the coach of Pitt, is 12-6 when he goes on the road and he's catching points since 2015. That's 67% the way I do math, right?
Yeah, correct.
He's covered 12 out of the last 18 times, dating all the way back to 2015 when he's been on the road and his team's catching double digits in no respect. At Happy Valley, Coach Franklin is only 40% against the spread when he's a double-digit chalk, double-digit favorite in Happy Valley. They don't seem to cover. They don't cover more than they do.
Right.
Okay? So, and the road team in that series, in that Pennsylvania rivalry between Penn State and Pitt, the road team has covered 3 straight games in that series. So we got to lean towards Pitt there and take the double digits.
Let's take the points.
Okay, what's going on? Air Force in Colorado. What do we got going on there, Poppy?
Well, Calhoun is 17-8-1 as a dog for Air Force.
Wow, that's about
2014.
What's that? That's 70%.
Correct.
So the coach of Air Force, Calhoun, 17-8 and 1 push when he's a dog since 2014. That's a strong number.
And they're 10-3-1 against the spread as a road dog.
Wow. Air Force, last 14 times they've been catching points on the road, 10 covers.
Right.
Only 3 no covers and 1 push.
And
that's pretty strong.
Right, and they're playing the Colorado Buffaloes, so it's an in-state rivalry. The Buffaloes are 4-10 against the spread the last 14 at home.
Wow, hold on, repeat that.
4-10 against the spread their last 14 at home.
Sorry about that, Big Ron.
And they did cover against Nebraska this past Saturday. They were down 17 points. It's a game that they had no business winning that game.
Oh, that game was fucking
Nebraska
sick.
collapsed. However, they did just do that. So this is a team who does not really play well at home, and this is an interstate rivalry. You got all the stats here on Air Force against the team that does not cover at home, guys.
Heavy trend. Let the force be with you. Heavy trend with the force. Buffaloes only 4-10 against the spread their last 14 home games. Wow. Okay, what's next? San Diego State is playing that that independent team, New Mexico State. Am I correct?
You are correct.
I touched on this briefly when I went over the independent teams are 3-8 against the spread so far this year. San Diego State at New Mexico State. New Mexico State is 4-13 against the spread their last 17 games overall. That's pathetic.
It is pathetic.
That's pathetic. They're also 3-8 against the spread their last 10 when they're an underdog. That's pathetic. They're 2-6 against the spread at home their last 8 home games. So here's a team, Poppy, the Aggies of New Mexico State. They've only covered 4 times their last 17 games overall. They've only covered 3 times out of their last 11 times as a dog. And they've only covered twice out of their last 8 home games. Wow. And add to the fact that the independent teams are 3-8 against the spread to start the season, looks like a heavy trend lead towards the Aztecs of San Diego State.
Yeah, New Mexico State had a game up at Washington State a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I think it was 28-0 in the first quarter. This team has no defense, guys. It's not a team who, oh boy, they're going to get up because they're at home. This is not a good football team, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely not getting up. The only thing getting up is going to be my cock when I'm catching a ticket on that game. San Diego State, brother.
Yes,
Woo!
sir.
UNLV, our hometown Running Rebels, taking on the Northwestern Wildcats in Chicago.
Interesting game.
In Chicago this weekend. Talk about Coach Sanchez and what he's done in this position against the number since he's taken over UNLV, Poppy.
Well, he's 14-7 as road dogs.
Wow.
4-0 against the spread on the road versus Power 5 teams.
Hold on, slow down. 4-0 against the spread when he goes on the road against a Power 5 team. And he's 14-7 as a road dog since he's took over UNLV. Wow. So that's 67% of the time he covers as a road dog.
Correct.
And he's a perfect 4-0 against the number when he's on the road against a Power 5 team. What that tells me is that he's pretty good at getting his team up as an underdog when he heads out on the road against a Power 5 team.
Yeah, he's 8-4 also as a double-digit dog, which
Wow.
They are this week. Now, Northwestern is 0-4 as home favorites.
Paparazzi, get excited when you read this shit.
All right.
Okay?
Northwestern is 0-4.
There you go.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go.
As home favorites last year.
Say that again. Northwestern is 0-4 as a home favorite last year.
Northwestern is 0-4 as a home favorite last year.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. Now
All
we'll go
right.
back.
Now what?
They were, 10-17 as home favorites since 2013.
Okay, so the last 4 games they've been at home and they've been favorite, they haven't covered.
Correct.
10-17 at home as a favorite since 2013. That's
horrible.
horrible.
Yeah.
Tell them what they do when they're at home against a non-conference team.
Well, they're 2-6 the last 8 versus non-conference teams.
2-6. The last 8 times they played a non-conference team at home against the spread. So Northwestern doesn't cover at home.
Correct.
Period. And Sanchez knows how to get his team up, get them fired up when they're catching points on the road, and when they go play a big Power 5 team,
Yeah.
guess what? They
get up.
cover.
Yeah.
He covers almost 70% of the time. He's covered. He's a perfect 4-0 against the spread on the road against Power 5. This man knows how to get his team up in the underdog role on the road. And Northwestern, they just don't fucking cover at home.
Yep. You know, UNLV is a funny team. They lose games at home that they should easily win, but they do. They go on the road as big dogs, and they're in the game.
They seem to raise their fucking game, right?
Yeah, they went to San Diego State last year. They won at San Diego State for the first time in many years.
Correct.
And then they lose. This past week, they got blown out by Arkansas State. However, Arkansas State is a good team. They were a bowl team last year, and people forget that. So they did lose. They're 1-1 on the season, but I expect UNLV to go and give Northwestern a fight, that's for sure.
So a lean towards UNLV plus the points this week against Northwestern. One more we're going to give you. Week 3, college football. Let's talk about the Louisiana Tech heading into Bowling Green. What do you have to say there, Poppy?
Well, Louisiana Tech, Skip Holtz is 6-3 as a road favorite.
Okay.
He's 10-4-1 against the spread on the road overall.
Wow.
At Bowling Green, 12-26 against the spread since 2016. So
wow.
they are not a covering machine.
So the last 38 home games for Bowling Green, they've only covered 12 since 2016. Wow.
They don't get the job done, that's for sure.
No, they sure don't. And Skip Holtz, coach for Louisiana Tech, 6-3 on the road as a favorite, and 10-4 against the spread on the road overall. Another guy that gets his team up to head out on the road. Slight trend edge towards La Tech. this week. So that's 6 road teams that are trending big time, that have big time numbers against the spread. Okay? That being said, college football, week 3, wrap it up. As a matter of fact, I got to take a piss, and I got a little heartburn. I'm going to have to grab me a Tums. This coffee just went right fucking through me. I need a Tums. I got to take a whiz, and it's a good time to take a little break, Poppy.
Let's do it.
And drain the vein, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. You put in $100, we'll give you $100. You put in $1,000, and we'll give you $1,000. First, you'll review your selected bonus. You can change your bonus or decline your bonus. Next, you'll select a deposit option. Enter your deposit amount and click Deposit. Fill out your card info. You can also edit your billing address if you need to, and then click Confirm Deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. You can also view how much money you have left in your account and review your pending wagers. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the second half of the VIP Sports Podcast, number 233. It's Thursday, September 12th, 2019. The first half, we just went over some college football trends heading into week 3. Wow, week 3 already in college football.
Yeah, it's amazing how quick it goes.
There's only 14 weeks in a regular season, guys. By the time Thanksgiving rolls around, college football's over.
Yeah.
And it's already mid-September.
It's amazing.
Okay, so 14 regular college weeks of football, regular football weeks, and this is week 3 already. Wow. I mean, I say this every year. You blink your eyes, and these 3 months of college football, September, October, November, it's over, man. By Thanksgiving, the college football season's over. You got the Army-Navy game the first Saturday in December, and then you wait a week and the bowl games get going.
For me, it's like yesterday you were just at spring training.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Sitting with scouts, it feels like it was yesterday.
Time fucking flies. Time waits for no one.
No.
And money doesn't sleep. Give us a call for the promotion. I'm going to get in trouble. This will never be done again. I can assure you that.
Yeah.
3 weeks of VIP plays. Get our VIP plays valued at $250 a week. Get them for 3 weeks. The rest of the month of September. College and pros. Football. $99 for all 3 weeks. Not $99 a week. $99 for the rest of the month of September. College and pro football. VIP plays. It's a $750 value. Give us a call. Let's help you make some money. Last week in the NFL, just to recap, I don't like talking about the past or what happens in the past. I go over these trends. I put it out there for knowledge. But it doesn't make you any money. Last week isn't going to make you any money, is it?
We look forward, guys. We look to go ahead, make you money. That's what the whole point is.
So I don't like to talk about scores from last week and this and that and the other thing. That's not my forte. But I will say this: week 1 in the NFL was all about road teams, dogs, and the overs.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
The underdogs were 10-6 in week 1 last week. The dogs were barking. The road teams went 10-5 with 1 tie against the spread. And the overs were 10-6 as well. And if you were a dog on the road catching points, you went 7-3. That's 70%. So road dogs last week got the money, 70% clip, and overs were 10 overs, only 6 unders. So that's the recap of week 1. If you listened to the podcast last week, which you should have, and if you didn't, shame on you, Poppy, you went over 2 games last week in the NFL.
I did. Thank you.
Congratulations on the San Francisco-Tampa Bay under. We gave it to you. And Arizona plus the 3 at home against the Lions. We gave that to you as well. The midget came back, Kyler Murray, and got everybody paid with Arizona. So this week we're going to preview. Paparazzi, you're going to go over 2 more games in the NFL.
We are.
Give them your humble opinion on the trends and what you think is going to go down on these 2 games, would you?
I would. We're going to start again. Detroit's going to be in this. We're going to preview the LA Chargers at Detroit as game one. Second game we're going to preview is Dallas at Washington. But we'll start the LA Chargers at Detroit. The line is the Chargers 2.5. The total is 48.
Okay.
Right now we're going to go over just some big trends here.
All right.
The Chargers are 7-1 straight up their last 8 games when playing Detroit.
Okay, so 7 out of the last 8 times these teams have met, Chargers have beat them 7 out of 8 times straight up.
And 7-1 against the spread, their last games on the road. They were a great covering team last year. I think the best in the NFL on the road.
So last year, the Chargers, 8 games on the road, they covered every one but one. 7-1 against the spread on the road last year. The Chargers were a covering machine on the road last year, guys.
And the Chargers, the last 6 games against Detroit, have covered 5 out of those 6. And when playing Detroit straight up, they're 7 out of the last 8.
Wow. So the Chargers own Detroit in the series, winning 7 out of the last 8 straight up and covering 5 out of the last 6 times. And they were an excellent covering road team last year, covering 7 out of 8 games last year on the road. The line in this game, Chargers minus 2.5, total 48. Is there anything trending with Detroit in this game, Poppy?
Yeah, we'll start with Detroit as a side. Detroit against the spread, their last 5 home games are 1-4.
Wow.
They're also 1-4 straight up. When playing the Chargers, the last 6 games, they are 1-5, and that's against the spread. And again, San Diego has won 7 out of the last 8, so obviously Detroit is 1-7 versus San Diego.
So San Diego owns Detroit straight up and against the spread
They do.
in the series, period.
And there also is a over-under trend here as well.
There's a strong over-under trend, am I right?
Correct. Detroit's last 5 home games, each game has gone under. So 5 of the last 5, all under.
Wow.
And the last 7 overall games for Detroit, 7 of the last 8 have gone under.
Wow.
So this game, you can announce what we're going to do.
Well, it sounds to me like there's a trend towards San Diego minus the 2.5 and most likely the under 48.
That's correct. That's
Correct?
exactly where we're going.
I
The LA Chargers minus the 2.5 and under the 48.
Well, there you go. I mean, the Detroit 5 straight unders at home, and 7 out of their last 8 games overall have been unders.
Correct.
That's what you're telling me?
Correct.
That's a pretty strong trend. And it seems like San Diego just owns Detroit, both straight up and against the spread. So we're going to give a lean towards San Diego in this game. Lay to 2.5 to get the money.
Correct.
And under 48 seems to be the play.
And that doesn't mean parlay, guys, because we're giving you both plays on there.
I could just see it now. There'll be comments in the fucking notes. Oh, San Diego didn't cover. They only won by 1, and but it did stay under. It was, but I parlayed it and I lost.
Right.
Oh, you guys and your golden nuggets, you're terrible.
Right.
Come on, man, snap the fuck out of it.
These are meant for straight plays for you guys, not parlays. We're just giving you these trends. These are games that we've looked at, and that's why we're giving you the information. But it doesn't mean because there's 2 plays on the game to go parlay it.
Right. So there's a trend on San Diego to lay in the 2.5, and a trend to the under in week 2. What's the other game you want to look at, Poppy, in the NFL?
The other game we're going to look at is Dallas at Washington. The line is, well, it opened at 6.5 for Dallas and 44. It is currently down to 5, and the total has jumped to 47.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So there's either heavy money coming in on the Redskins when the line came out at 6.5, down to Dallas minus 5. So once again, just like that total I said last week in the San Fran-Tampa Bay game, the line moved from 48.5 or 49 up to like 51, 51.5.
Yep.
Just because the line moves one way doesn't necessarily mean that there's sharp money moving that line. Could be a lot of stupid public money, or it could be the book just trying to move a number just to trap the public. And, you know, this game, Dallas opening up at 6.5, down to 5. There's either been some sharp money coming in on the Redskins in this big interdivision rivalry in the NFC East, or it could just be a trap. Like Steve always says, inquiring minds want to know. 877-220-6540, $99, shorty. It'll get you the rest of the month. 3 weeks, college and pro football, all the VIP games. What do you have to say about this game, Poppy?
I can first also tell you that the boss always says guessing can be very expensive.
Absolutely.
Well, in this game, some trends. Washington is 1-7 their last 8 games. They're 1-4 at home their last 5 games. The total in Washington's last 7 games, 6 of them have gone over when playing Dallas. Washington is 1-4 against the spread the last 5 games when playing at home against Dallas. Washington is 1-5 straight up their last 6 games when playing Dallas.
Wow. So the total has gone over In 6 of the last 7 times these two teams have met.
Correct.
Is that what I just heard?
That's what you heard, and Washington hasn't been a winning machine or covering machine either.
So Washington's lost 7 out of their last 8 games dating back to last season.
Correct.
So they lost their last 7 games of last season straight up.
They did.
And they lost in last week to the Philadelphia Eagles, as we all know.
Yeah, they blew a 17-point lead, and your Eagles came back
They sure
impressively.
did. Fly, Eagles, fly. Soar, Eagles, soar. Don't get me started. But anyway, nice comeback. I think their secondary came out of the locker room stoned as fuck because they got lit up in the first half.
I can't imagine at your house what was said that first half, and then the second half, all the singing probably.
There was shit flying. Yeah, me and right side almost went to blows in the first half. But anyway, the Redskins just absolutely blow. Lost 7 out of 8 games dating back to last season, and they just don't cover. They don't win. They got a horrible numbers against Dallas. Dallas seems to fucking own the Redskins, is what I'm getting out of this in the series. 6-1 to the over the last 7 times they've played. What do you have to say? Any trends on Dallas?
Well, Dallas is 9-2 straight up their last 11. They're 5-1 straight up the last 6 playing Washington. Dallas's total has gone over their last 7 games. The total has gone over 6 times as well. So they're an over team right now. Against the spread, they're 4-1 on the road at Washington, and they're 5-1 their last 6 games when playing on the road against Washington. So you come back there and you look at that key stat again of being 6 of the last 7 on the over again, and they do pretty well against Washington themselves.
So, my opinion, I'd stay away from the side of this game, guys.
Yeah, the way the line movement is, guys, we're not going to read into that and get into that. Yeah, there's some key stats here on Dallas, but we don't like the way that's moved. This would be a game where Steve and Skip would use their information, and if they couldn't get information, it would probably be something that they stayed away from. Right now, I'm staying away from that part.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna stay away from the side of this game. Something seems a little shady there with that line movement. However, the total opened up at 44, is up to 47. There's been some heavy money coming in on the under. I think that is sharp money.
Yeah, I agree.
And with the numbers and the trends, and I see that game. I see that game going over the 47. So we're going to give a lean towards the over?
We're giving a lean towards the over. That's the play.
All right, let's do it. Dallas and Washington, we're going to lean towards the over 47. And the other game, we're going to go lean towards San Diego, late at 2.5, and under the 48.
That's correct.
Correct? All right, so that being said, if you want to know more about the NFL, or you want to actually know where Steve Stevens is putting his money, where the skipper's money is, what we're telling our clients, where we're telling them to put their money, give us a call, take advantage of that promotion. It's a slam dunk. It's an absolute fucking gold mine of a promotion. You're going to make a fortune on a $99 investment. You're going to want to become a client for the rest of the season. You're going to want to play basketball with us when it starts. This little promotion is going to put you in the driver's seat where you're going to become a member for the next 5 years. I just know it.
Well, so they're going to learn, Steve's system of money management and discipline.
Correct.
So they're going to get something different from dealing with all the scammers and other guys who don't have offices, not professional and stuff. You're going to deal with a professional company. You're going to learn how to manage a bankroll. You're going to work with a professional company. Does that mean you're going to win every game? Absolutely not. Steve loses plenty of games, but as long as he's winning a lot more than he loses, that's all that matters.
That's the bottom line. Cash and tickets, winning more than you lose. Let's head into the Major League Baseball playoff picture, Poppy. A little recap from some of the things we talked about last week. I had an extensive baseball segment last week. I'm going to go over a couple of things, and some things have changed, some things haven't changed. Let's get started with the American League. Things are heating up for that number 1 seed in the American League.
They are.
In fact, the Yankees and Astros heading into today are pretty much tied, or less than 1 game separates the Yankees and the Astros. I believe they're tied for the number 1 seed. With 15 games left on the board, the number 1 seed is up for grabs in the American League. So people that say, oh, the Yankees don't have anything to play for, the Astros don't have anything to play for, you obviously aren't paying attention. Okay,
right.
They're playing for the number 1 seed and who has home field advantage throughout the postseason. Now, both of these teams have no problem winning on the road or at home. I mean, they could win on the moon, I think.
Correct.
I mean,
anywhere.
these
Area
are two.
51.
Yeah, they could win at Area 51 where Steve's hanging out.
Yeah.
These, they definitely have something to play for, home field advantage. That being said,
and a lot of times when you get down to 15 games left in the season, teams like to give their pitchers some extra rest,
Right.
bring up some other guys from the minors for those games because they know they're going to be in the playoffs.
They got the
and everything.
40-man roster right now.
But they don't have really the luxury to do that at this point.
No.
Because they're fighting for home field throughout the playoffs.
Absolutely.
You know, so keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah, that being said, so the Yankees and Astros definitely have something to play for right now. Minnesota looks like they're going to hold on to the Central. They got a 5-game lead over the Indians, and they'll be the number 3 seed. Let's talk about the wild card in the American League. Tampa Bay. This team just continues to win. They got a 1.5-game lead for that first wild card spot in the American League. They are the hottest team in baseball. They just continue to be the team that nobody talks about. They've won 11 out of their last 12 games, paparazzi.
It's amazing.
They just continue to cash tickets for you. In this stretch where they're 11-1 their last 12 games, they've given up 3 runs or less average during this streak. Now, if you're giving up 3 runs or less, you should be winning games.
They
right?
should, and they've had so many injuries to their pitchers too. It's almost once a week there's a new pitcher inserted into that rotation.
Yeah.
And they win.
And they just keep winning.
It's unbelievable to be honest.
Blake Snell, that being said, he should be back. He's throwing in the minor leagues right now.
Oh.
He's had 2 minor leagues starts or a couple innings. I was reading about him this morning, Poppy. They're expecting him to be back probably within the next 2 weeks, right before the end of the regular season. So he feels like he was saying when I heard him the interview with him, he said, "Yeah, it feels like I'm in spring training again. It's been so long, since he got hurt." But anyway, they're looking to have Blake Snell back for the postseason.
And they also just got Glasnow back as well. He was on the injured list. He pitched
Absolutely, I think that can only help Tampa Bay. That just continues to win and won 11 out of 12 without those 2 guys.
Yep.
Kermeyer is facing some neck spasms right now, which he's having a problem with it going away. He's missed 2 games this week, but he'll be back. But he is having some neck issues. The thing about Tampa Bay, they have a tough remaining schedule.
Yep.
They got 2 games left with the Dodgers this week, and then they got 4 with the Red Sox. Now the Red Sox most likely out of the postseason.
Yeah.
They're
fired Dave Dombrowski, the general manager.
Fired the GM this week.
Yep.
They're still a dangerous team. They still know how to win. They got a dangerous offense. They are the reigning champions. So, they can still be – they're still a tough team to play, period. So Tampa Bay has a hard remaining schedule. Even though they have a 1.5-game lead for that wild card spot, they got to play 2 more with the Dodgers.
The Dodgers who clinched 2 nights ago.
They clinched the division. However, they have a 4-game lead over Atlanta for the number 1 seed.
Correct.
So they still have to keep winning.
Right.
And as I was explaining with Right Side, this time of the year, you don't want to lay back, man.
Right.
You want to keep that winning momentum. You want to keep that feeling in the locker room.
Right.
If you got a well-oiled machine right now this time of the year, you don't want that thing to dry up like a dry pussy.
No, try to restart
you know what I mean?
it.
You got to keep that fucking thing wet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't see the Dodgers laying back just because they clinched the division. And they got a 4-game lead on the Braves for the number 1 seed. So, Tampa Bay's got to play 2 more games with the Dodgers this week. Then they got 4 against the Red Sox. Then they got to play the division rivalry Yankees for 2 games.
Yeah.
And we just said they're playing for home field advantage right now.
Yeah.
So the Yankees aren't going to roll over.
No, they have a tough schedule.
And then their last 3 games against Toronto, which they should be okay there. Tampa Bay, I would say look towards a couple of the unders since they don't give up very many runs.
Right.
We just mentioned that. And they're not a juggernaut offensive team.
No.
They win their games because of defense and pitching, and a solid bullpen. Look towards a couple under spots, maybe when they play Toronto, who they just seem, their offense seems to go dry. And they played them the last 3 games of the regular season. So I'm going to look towards a couple of unders in the Tampa Bay-Toronto season at the end of the regular season here. And maybe the next 2 games with the Dodgers, I might lean towards the under in those 2 games with Dodgers pitching.
Yep.
But anyway, Tampa Bay should hold on and handle the wild card, even with that tough remaining schedule. Let's talk about Oakland. My man Mike Fiers.
Unbelievable.
I mentioned him last week. He got his first loss in 21 starts, Poppy.
Yep.
Monday night, he got shelled by Houston.
He did.
In Houston, they just absolutely lit him up. He didn't get out of the second inning when Houston won that game 15-0. Nobody saw that coming with Mike Fiers on the mound.
No.
His first loss in 21 starts. The man hasn't lost a game since May 1st at Fenway.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty phenomenal.
He's pitched great. Everybody's due to have a bad game. That was his bad game, but he's had a great season.
Well, if you know baseball like I do, Mike Fiers, when he pitches against Houston, he's had 5 starts against Houston, hasn't gotten a win in those 5 games, and he's got an 8.63 ERA against Houston.
Houston knows him.
Yeah, his 5 games he's thrown against the Astros, no wins, and an 8.63 fucking ERA.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Yeah.
And this is
he's
a
gotta
good.
stay out of the rotation against Houston.
And this is a real good pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay, I just said he hasn't lost a game in 21 starts. His last loss was May 1st.
Right.
Okay, but he just gets lit up. Houston has his number, but then again, Houston has a lot of people's number on speed dial.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oakland had his back though 2 nights ago as they put up 20-something runs. They got on Wade Miley. Wade Miley didn't make it out of the first inning. His second start in a row that he didn't make it out of the first inning.
Correct. Yeah, Wade needs to wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
The thing about Oakland, right now they're holding on to the second wild card spot.
Yeah.
They're a game and a half behind Tampa Bay for the top wild card spot. And Cleveland's coming out of nowhere. They're only a half a game behind Oakland for the second wild card spot. The thing about Oakland, they got a real favorable schedule the rest of September.
Yeah.
They got 6 games against Texas. They got 3 against Kansas City, 2 against the Angels, and then 4 against Seattle. So their last 15 games, I mean, they don't play a tough team.
No.
Their last 14 games, last 16 games, right? 15, whatever the fuck it is. 6 against Texas.
Yep.
3 against Kansas City, 2 against the Angels,
15,
4 against Seattle.
Yeah. They can easily go 10-5 there.
Easily. Yeah. And the thing about Oakland, if you're looking from a betting standpoint, and that's what this is, it's a gambling show, it's a sports betting show. Look for Oakland to make money on Oakland starting next Monday, Poppy.
Okay.
Starting Monday the 16th. They have a 1-week homestance. They got 3 games against Kansas City and 3 games against Texas starting Monday night at home. Look to make some money on Oakland at home because they're a way better team at home. Mm-hmm. Oakland at home starting Monday against Kansas City and against Texas. There's going to be some money to be made there.
There we go.
And then real quick, let's talk about Cleveland, who's only sitting a half a game back for that second wild card position. They got a little bit of an issue with third baseman Jose Ramirez. He's got a right wrist fracture, Poppy.
Yeah, he does, yep.
Just happened last week on the 25th of August. It's not looking good for a real quick return for Jose Ramirez. Obviously, he wants to get back in the lineup, but like Francona said, a bone fracture in your wrist, it's not exactly going to heal overnight.
They had another injury as well last week. One of their outfielders is out for the season. I believe he tore his ACL. I just can't remember who it is, but I believe it's a center fielder.
Right. Well, I can say this. The thing about Cleveland, they're starting a 9-game homestance this Friday, okay? Their remaining schedule, they got 2 cupcakes. They got 3 with the White Sox and 3 with Detroit left. But they got to play 3 with the Twins, 3 with the Phillies, and 3 with the Nationals to finish up their season.
Right, so.
But Cleveland's whole season is coming down to this, starting this weekend. Mm-hmm. They got a 9-game homestance, but it kicks off this weekend with the Twins in Cleveland. Not exactly an easy feat.
No. They gotta win these series.
And then they got 3 against your Detroit Tigers.
They should win those.
That should be a series that they're going to need to sweep. And then they got 3 with my Fighting Phils right after your Tigers.
They need to win each of these series.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they need to win more than the series.
Yeah.
They need to sweep Detroit in Cleveland. They need to take at least 2 out of 3 against the Twins this weekend, which I'm not sure that's going to happen. And then they got to take at least 2 out of 3 against the Phillies, and when the Phillies are fighting for a wild card. So Cleveland's got a real tough schedule, unlike unlike Oakland. Oakland's got a cupcake schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's got a rough schedule, and Cleveland's got a very rough schedule. But they do have a 9-game homestand starting this Friday.
And the only thing
that's going to be their whole season.
The Twins, they've lost Gibson in their pitching rotation, and Pineda just got a 60 or 90.
Yeah, what an
suspension.
idiot. Pineda, done for the season.
Yeah, great job. You're having a great year. About to go to the postseason, you're done.
What a joke.
Yep.
Well, they're winning games with their offense. They're really going to need to win games with their offense now.
Yep, because they're going to have different pitchers in there, that's for sure.
Let's talk about the National League wild card pitcher real quick, or the playoff pitcher picture. The Dodgers with a 4-game lead over Atlanta for the number 1 seed. St. Louis in the Central. Last week I made a bold prediction, Poppy. I said the Cubs, We're 3 games back of the Cardinals for that division.
Yep.
I said they were going to get hot. They were going to take over that division. They were going to give the division back to the Chicago Cub fans.
Yep.
And the Cardinals were still going to make the playoffs, but they were going to be a wild card team and have to face Scherzer in Game 1.
Correct.
I still stand by that. However, the Cubs have now fallen to 4 games back of the Cardinals.
And the Cubs have some big injury problems right now.
Yeah, Javi Baez, bye-bye.
Correct.
Right? So it looks like
Chris Bryant right now has an injury. They have their catcher also has an injury.
Contreras?
Yes, Contreras, and one more guy has an injury.
it looks like Zobrist and Addison Russell are going to have to fill some big shoes at shortstop with Javi being out.
Yep.
Right?
Actually, Addison Russell was out the other night, too, in San Diego. They were using a third-string shortstop.
Wow. So that being said, I still believe I'm going to continue with my bold prediction. I still believe the Cubs are the better team. They're 4 games out. There's 16 games left.
Yep.
They have to play the Cardinals
7 times.
7 times.
Right.
Okay? Now, the thing about the Cubs, they're starting a 10-game homestand this weekend. Okay? I'm looking to make some money on the Cubs at home because they can't play on the road. I've gone over this before.
Right.
Just like Cleveland is starting a 9-game homestand, those are must-win games for Cleveland against the Twins, Detroit, and Philly, like we just said.
Right.
The Cubs are starting a 10-game homestand this Friday. 3 games against Pittsburgh, 3 games against Cincinnati, and then 4 games at Wrigley against the Cardinals. That's the season,
Correct.
okay? They've got to play the way they've been playing at home all year,
Yep.
even with these injuries.
And they have the pitching staff to do it.
They got the staff to do it. They can take the division over by the end of this 10-game homestand. They could be sitting in first. They got 4 games, Poppy. Those last 4 games at home on this homestand are against the Cardinals, the Redbirds. And then they finish the season with 6 road games. They go out to Pittsburgh and take on Pittsburgh for 3 games. And then guess what? Then they go into St. Louis for the last 3 games of the season. And right there's your division.
Right. It might be for the division, those 3 games.
The destiny's in their own hands.
Yep.
And that goes the same for the Cardinals.
Yep.
The Cardinals are playing the Cubs. They got 7 games against each other, 4 at Wrigley, 3 in St. Louis. Something's got to give. I'm going to look to make money on the Cubs during this 10-game homestands, especially against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, the first 6 games.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Milwaukee is 1 game behind the Cubs for the second wild card position right now. They've been on a tear.
But
I said last week they were done. Fuck Milwaukee. They're not going anywhere. Since I said that, they've won 5 straight games, and they've gone 8-2.
But
and guess what happened?
I know what happened.
Christian Yelich, what a blow to last year's National League MVP. A broken kneecap.
Done for the season.
Now, that's painful. You know what it means to have knee injuries.
Yeah, I have.
You've had plenty of them.
Yeah, I have a broken knee right now.
Yeah, Big Skipper's had knee surgery. I used to be a catcher, believe it or not. I was a catcher when I played baseball. I was a catcher for 10 years, from 8 years old till 18. Yeah, Big Skipper's had knee surgery. You've had a couple of knee surgeries.
Yes.
Yelich, out for the season with a broken knee. That's a major blow. Their pitching's not going to hold up. Now Yelich is gone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We told you, get your Miller beer and a bratwurst.
Yeah,
Go get them.
Nice run you just had, but that's a major blow, and that might be the final blow. I know they're only 1 game back from the wild card. It's going to be hard to get there without Yelich, and I think their run is over.
I agree.
Let's talk about my fighting Phils. They're 2 games out of the wild card right now.
Yeah.
Okay? They're not going anywhere. This team has no consistency. You can't count on them.
Amen.
You can't count on them. I already said Gabe Kapler's a fucking fool. The manager sucks. They can't win on the road, and guess what, Poppy? 11 out of their last 17 games of the season are on the road. The Phillies got to go to Atlanta for 3 games. They got to go to Cleveland for 3 games. And then they got to go to Washington for 5 games at Nationals Park.
Yeah. Not easy.
5 games.
Yeah.
That was a scheduled 4-game series, and they got to make up a game
Wow.
from a rainout. So one of the days they got to play a doubleheader.
Yeah.
11 out of their last...
Not an easy feat.
No, they're done. The Phillies are fucking done. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a lot of money betting against the Phillies, especially on that 11-game. You can bet against the Phillies the rest of the season and make big fucking money. Remember where you heard it. I know this team. They can't win on the road. There's no consistency. The pitching is fucking You can't count on any of them. Even Aaron Nola hasn't gotten a win in his last 5 starts.
Right.
And when he pitches, they don't fucking score for him.
Right.
Okay? They got to go on the road. This team can't win on the road. They're in the negative on the run differential.
Correct.
Okay? Come on, guys. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Philly's a team that they really should be in the playoffs had they taken advantage.
We all know that.
There's many games that they should have won that they did not win, and then you go and expect them to play well. They don't, and then you get off of them, and all of a sudden they win a few games and look like the team that you think they are. They've been very disappointing this year.
And let me give you a stat against the Phillies. When they're trying to get 7 games over 500, I believe it's 0-11. They're 0-11 when trying to get that 7th game over 500 this season.
Right, to try to get to that mountain, just to get to that mountain.
And I think right now they're 5 games over, I believe.
Yep.
So, keep an eye on that. If they get lucky and win a game and they're trying to get to that 7th game over 500,
right.
0-11. Yeah, you didn't
stat.
you didn't hear that anywhere else, did you? Yeah, I didn't think so. Listen, make a lot of money betting against the Phillies the rest of the year. Let's talk about this Diamondback team real quick before we end this podcast. This fucking team, they've lost 3 in a row. The Mets spanked them a little bit up at Citi Field this week. 12 out of their last 15 games, Poppy, are at home at Chase Field. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, that's
they
a
got
big advantage.
They got 15 games left, and 12 of those 15 games are at home where they play better. Okay, at Chase Field. The Snakes, I think, are done. I've said it before. They've been the biggest surprise of the Major League Baseball season to me. I had them projected at a 90-loss team. Wow, shame on me.
Right.
They're only a half a game worse than the Phillies this year.
Yep.
I mean, the Phillies are only half a game better than Arizona.
And Arizona
that's unbelievable.
And Arizona's traded.
I mean, look
away
at that
They traded away all the good players too.
Yeah, look at Philly's payroll and look at that fucking lineup and look at that team and look at Arizona.
Yep.
Only a half a game separates them. Are you kidding me?
I agree. Arizona deserves to be applauded because they have
that coach for fucking Levito or whatever the hell his name is.
Hell of a job. Yep.
I mean, hell of a job. And Gabe Kapler, you need to be fired. That's disgusting. I mean, when you got the same record as the Diamondbacks, you suck. Okay. Anyway, Arizona's only 2.5 games back from the wild card. They're still alive, even after a 3-game skid. They're not going to make it. However, they have an incredibly easy schedule.
Yeah.
These last 15 games.
And
12 of them are at home.
I'm not a big fan, and I don't think they're going to make it either, but they do play some easy teams. And if they get hot and these kids come together, watch out.
Listen, they start a home series this weekend. They got 3 against Cincinnati.
Winnable.
And then 3 against Miami.
Very winnable.
Okay, then they got to go over to San Diego to Petco and play the Padres for 3 games.
Yeah.
Those are their last 3 games on the road this year. And then they come back to Chase Field in Phoenix. And then they got 3 against the Cardinals, which that's going to be a tough series because the Cardinals are going to be playing for an awful lot.
Those games,
yeah, that's going to be a brutal series. Great series to watch. And then the last 3 games of the season, they play San Diego again for the last 3 games at home. So 12 out of their last 15 games at home at Chase Field against some pretty cupcake teams, except for that Cardinal series is going to be rough.
Yeah.
So let me just sum up the baseball picture for you. Here's the way I see it. The Cubs are starting a 9-game home stance this weekend, and they have 7 games left with the Cardinals. Look to make some money on the Cubs during this home stance, starting this weekend against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Look to make some money with the Cubs. Look to make a whole lot of money betting against the Phillies the rest of the way out, period.
Hey guys, you might find some good value with some dogs on these games with the Phillies. If you're playing against them when they're at home, you might pick up some good dog money. So listen to them.
Look to make a lot of money betting against the Phillies the next 3 weeks, especially the fact that they got 11 games on the road against Atlanta, Cleveland, and the Nationals. I see Bryce Harper just having a complete fucking meltdown heart attack. He's got to go. I mean, think about where Bryce Harper is right now.
Yeah.
He's fighting for his playoff life. They're not going to make the postseason.
Right.
Nationals have been a way better team. Shout out to Anthony Rendon. And Bryce has to go into Nationals Park and play 5 fucking games. Like, he can't get away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a 2-game series.
Right.
It's not a 3-game series.
He's there
it's not a
5
4-game
days.
series.
Right.
He's got to go to Washington
Right.
and play 5 fucking games
Right.
against the Nationals and watch his postseason dreams this year go down the fucking toilet while
his boys are going.
While all the guys he was playing with are going to be going to the playoffs.
Right.
Playoffs? And he's going to be at home with his baby and Kayla.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Look for Bryce Harper to have an absolute fucking breakdown when they go into Washington for those 5 games. Mm-hmm. But anyway, On a serious note, bet against the Phillies the rest of the way. You'll make a fortune. Oakland at home, starting Monday. Remember what I said?
Take them at home.
Starting Monday the 16th, they're home for a solid week against Kansas City and Texas. They could win those 6 games right there. That could be a 6-pack for Oakland.
Right.
Okay? So look for some spots with Cubs at home starting this weekend. Go against the Phillies the rest of the year. And look for some spots with Oakland at home starting Monday against Kansas City and Texas. And possibly a couple of unders when Tampa Bay plays the Dodgers and Toronto at the end of the year. So there's the baseball wrap-up. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And if you didn't, fuck you. 877-220-6540. Give us a call. VIP college and pro football plays the remainder of the month of September. That's 3 weeks of college, 3 weeks of the NFL, $99. Nothing else I can do for you. Shout out to all the first responders, the New York Fire Department, the NYPD, all the 9/11 survivors and the families. We love you. We're never going to forget about you. VIP Sports and Paparazzi, Steve Stevens, over and out. See you next Thursday.
It's Steve Stevens, I bust your bookie head open. Split it to the white meat, I ain't joking. Me and Dirt Bomb in the ghost float. Straight OG like that kush I be smoking. It's way too potent for rookies to come hit it. A little white girl around, I might sniff it. Poppin' bub in the club, so twisted. My pops keeps telling me to go get it. So I'm at the sports book, betting big on the Clippers. I'm talking about 5 figures, I need a few shots of liquor. Might need another zipper if the bomb play me. Fuck around and put $500,000 on Tom Brady. When it comes to betting sports, Steve Stevens a beast. Need a certified winner called VIP Sports. Got too many felonies to ride around with my Glock, so sure to keep it since I got shot in Vegas like Pirate.
I keep hearing things.